Woo, woo, woo. How is everyone doing? We are live and welcome to the Transfer Exchange Show. The review. I nearly called it the dispute. Oh, God. We're missing that. We'll come back soon. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Make me cry before we even
back
start,
of my mind.
man.
No, do you know what it is, yeah? Anyone that's thinking, you've conned me. I signed up for the KS1 TV. You've given me nothing but this Sunday show and made me wait for it. Well, what it is this transfer window is absolutely ripping us a new one. It is we get no sleep, yeah? We're on to people all day. We're researching all day and night. It's crazy. Once this dies down, we will have all the shows out, I promise you. But right now, it's just solid hard work from all these guys and the show on Sunday. But you can't complain because we cram it all into, I'd say an hour, but it's never an hour. It's always a little bit longer. But
it's not an excuse either. We really are doing research. It's mental.
We really are. We try to narrow it down to just our transfers, but we want to get a bit of speculation in there so we can smash that down or say it's got legs anyway. So anyway.
Family's getting bigger.
I do. Hold. Let's go. Top right, we've got the chief scout. It's Steve K.A. Dude, I swear you just did some stretches there. If that ready
warming up.
He's doing stretches. I love that. On the bottom left, he's flown all the way to England just to be in a pod and get better Wi-Fi. It's Jerome Marks. It's the marksman. How you doing, Jerome?
Evening, lads. Yeah, all good. Thanks. Nice to be back home.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And Simon, the chef. How you doing, Simon? It's bottom right. He's still got his champions up. He's proud. There we go.
Forgot about that.
How you doing, Simon?
I'm all right.
You see the names at the bottom? Go and give them a follow on Twitter. They're our scouts. You can ask them questions any time of the day, and it's down to them whether they answer them. But I'm sure they will. Also, like and subscribe. Whoa! What the hell is that? R2D2 in the background. All right. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And obviously, follow the Instagram, the Twitter. Boom. There we go. Today we have a football focus. Today we have team focus, should I say. We've got Burnley and Leicester. I'm going to kick off today with Burnley. Okay, Burnley. The old Sean Dyche, the gruff voice. He's doing his business. He's consistent, and he just keeps on churning out top half finishes for Burnley. I mean, they finished 15th I think, a couple of seasons ago when they went into Europe, but that's because they went into Europe. But other than that, it's like a guilty pleasure as well for teams to that want a new manager. They flirt with the idea of having Sean Dyche, but they don't actually go for it. But he's done it again. He's got a top half finish. He's finished 10th on 54 points, and he's kept Burnley in the league again. Steve, how would you say Burnley have done this season?
I think Burnley's had an excellent season, and I know most seasons they get a lot of credit, but this season I don't think they've had enough credit. I think everybody's sort of been going on about Sheffield United because they're the team up there as well, and they're the new team that's been promoted. And don't get me wrong, they've done fantastically well, but Burnley ended up finishing on the same points as them. And Sheffield United only got above them on goal difference. So that just shows you that, for me, they didn't get enough credit. I think Burnley fans would have, at the start of the season, would have been happy to finish where they are. What can we say about Sean Dyche? Another incredible season. He does it every year. He's always on a small budget. Mm-hmm. All you have to do is just look at the names on the team sheets. If you run down them, you could 2 million players, 3 million players, £4 million players. but every year he does the business, and from an incredible performance from the tea lady, to the chairman, incredible performance this season.
It's that kind of club, innit? And you can imagine Sean Dyche going around to everyone, well done, to everyone, the tea lady, the ball boy, the lot, well done, great season, see you again next year. Like proper community kind of guy. Jerome, Burnley have had a really good season. And it's no surprise that there's been a few teams sort of trying to snap him up. Crystal Palace being one of them. Do you think Crystal Palace would have been a good move for Crystal Palace and for Sean Dyche?
Oh, you know what? It's really hard to tell because he's one of these managers, Sean Dyche. It might be the case where Burnley just suits him down to the ground. So their expectations, Burnley, maybe they're just sort of happy to stay in the division, and every year he's exceeding those expectations. At Palace, it might be something slightly different. They might want a bit more. So his reputation at the moment is excellent. He could go to Palace and it could all go tits up. But I guess they might be. You could call, Palace a bigger club than Burnley. So in that aspect, it would be a good move for him from that point of view. But whether it would work for him there is something else.
Yeah. I know what you mean. I think it's teams down London. Once they solidify themselves in the Premier League, it's like, we've survived 2 seasons in the Prem, Champions League next year. Yeah, big budget, and then they end up going down. Simon, how do you think Burnley did this year?
Burnley have done really well this year, but I guarantee they'll not be in the Premier League next year. Sorry to disappoint all the fans and everything, but they're struggling at the minute. With the research I've done and asking on Twitter of Burnley fans and going onto accounts, there's 2 people. There's Taylor and the other one, and Max, I think. Somebody called Max. Talk to them 2, and they're struggling to get Sean Dyche to even sign a new contract to be manager. Crystal Palace are looking at him. Newcastle United are looking at him. And there was another team that were looking at FC20 are looking at him. FC20 and Sean Dyche, I was quite surprised with that. But the thing with Burnley, this is the one time since I've been on this show where I've dug for players that they're linked to or players that they're wanting to sign, and I found nothing. Honestly, I found nothing.
Yeah, and there's probably reason for that.
COVID has hit them a lot. COVID has really hit Burnley.
But they're a team that, from what I've spoken to Chris Bowden, he writes for the Burnley Express, and he writes for Burnley. He says they're very much they know what they want. They've identified a player, and they might not get him this year, but they're going for him next year. If they don't get him next year, they go for him in January. And if they don't get him in January, they go for him in the summer. They identify their target, and they will keep on going for that target. They know what they want, and they put it in that position and get it. There was James Tarkowski was one player I was told they were going for 2-3 years before he actually came to Burnley. I think they wanted him when he was at Oldham, like early doors, and they didn't get him till later on. So they know what they want. One thing I did notice about Burnley last season is they conceded too many goals to teams they shouldn't have. Conceded 2 against Villa at home, conceded 2 against Norwich at home, conceded 5 away to Tottenham, conceded 2 at home to Palace. Now conceding away to Tottenham is Tottenham. They're a very good team, but it's still, this is Burnley. They set up, and even especially away from home, they set up to not concede as well and try and hit you on the break. But when you're conceding against Villa, Norwich and Palace at home and 2 goals at a time, that's a bit of a problem. So you can see that one area they probably will look to try and bring some players in is probably defence. Has anyone, Steve, did you see any players that Burnley were linked to?
Simon's not far out when you said that they don't get linked.
I couldn't find nothing. Honestly, I tried.
When there wasn't much players out there. I did find that Sean Duffy was linked, a defender, which is what they need. That was the only one. But I think what's important with Burnley, and this is the way they always set themselves up. It's very rare they always set themselves up where they need only the odd one player or the odd tall player. They never seem to have to play around with it too much. I mean, the most important thing for Burnley, for me, is that they keep the players that they've got. More than, don't forget about the players to get them in. I mean, they need a right midfielder. Goodmanson is the only player that can play out there when he ain't about. Then
injuries and inconsistency.
Yeah, but they've got Nick Pope, they've got Jack Cork, they've got James Tarkowski, Jeff Hendricks, although he's going to be moving. Ashley Barnes, Jay Rodriguez, Chris Woods, who scored 14 goals this season.
Ashley Barnes,
Eric Peters, Dwight McNeil.
Yeah,
that's a good side.
Is he going to stay at Burnley though as well, Nick Pope? Because he got clean sheet, didn't he? I think he's a better goalkeeper than
15 clean sheets he kept this season.
This is why I said
Burnley.
This is what I said when I said that the most important thing for them is to keep the players that they got. Ben Mee, you mentioned. I mean, desperately need to keep in. Ben Mee wanted to leave, but somehow they found a clause in his contract which made him stay for another year. So I'm sure he was over the moon with that. But to answer your question, is really they need to keep the players they've got because they haven't got money to go and spend loads. You know.
And I think I was told that their average spend a year is 9 million. One player that they are linked with is Joe Worrell of Nottingham Forest. That's the player that I was talking about that they identified and they went for last year. And I've been told they're probably going to go in for him again this year. So expect some links to that, or if there are any links out there, then they've got legs because Sean Dyche, and he said Sean Allardyce. I'll get crucified. Sean Dyche has identified him as a player they want to bring in, and I see what they like about him. Strong, classic type of centre back. He's played England under 21s as well, so he's got pedigree. He's got that pedigree. So yeah, I can see why to go for him. We did look at the youth, and there's a few coming through. Jerome, did you spot any youth that was coming through at Burnley?
No one that sort of the people haven't heard of. I mean, if you're talking about young players at Burnley, then obviously there's, I don't know if you might want to speak about him later, but there's Dwight McNeil, who plays in the first team, but he's still only 20 years old. Yeah. He's one that they really, I think it'd be difficult to keep him, but he's excellent.
Well, we're talking about Dwight McNeil now. Two shining lights in the team is Tarkowski and Dwight McNeil. Both touted at being in and around. If you want them, it's going to cost you around 50 million for them. How good is Dwight McNeil? He's only young. You've heard about him for a couple of years now, so it might seem like he's a bit older than 20, but he is only 20 years of age, and he's a top player. How good do you rate him, Jerome?
I don't think it's any exaggeration to say he wouldn't look out of place in any team in the Premier League. I think he's that good. How he's playing, sort of his playing style, he's so smooth on the ball. Like, people used to describe like Rio Ferdinand as a Rolls Royce of a defender. Yeah. He's like a Rolls Royce of a midfielder. I think he mainly plays on the left, but I think he's so technically good that he could end up playing sort of more in the middle of the pitch rather than just being stuck out on the wing. His final delivery is superb. You see him a lot putting loads of these excellent crosses into the box.
He whips an early ball as well, doesn't he?
Yeah. And considering he plays in a team that doesn't have a lot of possession, if he was to play in a team that had the ball a lot more, I think he'd sort of stand out even more. Great plan. He came through their youth system as well, so props to Burnley for that.
Yeah. Steve, how highly do you rate Dwight McNeil? Do you think he's got what it takes? Do you think 50 million is too much, or do you think that's a fair price?
Yeah, 50 million might be a little bit too much, I think. But, you know, he came from Manchester United Academy, and he's such an exciting player to watch. I've seen this kid. He can take a game by the scruff of the neck and turn a defeat into 3 points. And if you've got a player like that in your team, then maybe they are worth 50 million. You can't mark him. He's everywhere. He goes to left. He goes right. He's a nightmare for defenders. He's another one of these players who plays with a smile on his face, and I love that. There should be more of it. He has this ability to glide past players, keep possession. I love this player, but there's only one thing. I mean, when Chris Wood has scored 14 goals, and Dwight McNeil is probably the player who's probably assisted in most of them. So my only thought is, would Dwight McNeil need to go to another club where there's the big man up front? Maybe someone else can answer that better than me. It's just a thought I've got.
Well, touching on that, I'd say it's probably more down to the style of play that Burnley are playing at, where you're pinging the ball to the front man for it to hold it up, lay off to the wingers or the midfielders, then play on there. Whether that's his game in a nutshell or whether he's more expansive than that, I'd probably say so that he is. How many chances do Burnley get per game? Like you said, they don't have much possession. They're not a possession side kind of side. It's a tough one, but I think I'm with Jerome. As you said, he's a top player. He's come from good stock. So, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. I'd say he's probably got more to his game. Simon, what are you saying on Dwight McNeil? He's a top player. Been linked to Juventus. He's been linked to United, Arsenal. A lot of big teams. Do you think he's got what it takes to play at the top?
I don't think he has. I mean, if he had something to offer the top 4 or the top 6, possibly from 7th downwards, he'd probably do something like there. Like at Tottenham, he could do a job there. Newcastle, he could do something there. I see him Wolves as like depth, squad depth, that kind of something there. But I don't see anywhere from basically 7th upwards. I don't see that at all. I mean, Juventus, would he even get in Juventus's team? Would he even get a chance?
I don't know. The thing is, he's like a cultured winger. Like who was it? I think Steve said he could play. Or one of you said he could play midfield as well. I think Jerome said he could eventually play midfield. It's because he's got that about him. He's got that calmness about him. He's got that sort of charisma on the ball. He's not just a nippy winger up and down. He's cultured. He's got more to his game.
He's like a Shaqiri. What I thought.
So even if right now he's not ready for top 6. If a top 6 side got him in, I couldn't see him not gelling and progressing as a footballer in that way. Especially if he was to play in Europe, which helps players progress and make better players. You're playing around different types of play. You're playing a different game. I think he shouldn't stay at Burnley for too long. Otherwise, he might stagnate and people just move on from that kind of player.
I can't see him keeping him.
Yeah, not for too long.
Can't see him.
Not for too long.
Can't.
One thing I did want to touch on about the what Burnley are doing at the moment. It was tough to find some youth players. There's some good youth players coming through. Mace Goodridge, Max Thompson and Chris Con-Clark, all very good players coming through the ranks. But one thing Burnley have done is they've taken up their youth academy from a Cat 3 to a Cat 1, which means they're playing against the best teams in the country. They're playing against Arsenal, Man United, Tottenham, Chelsea. They're playing against these teams now. The facility's a lot better. So you should start to get, over the years, more of a steady stream of players coming through the youths into the first team, which don't necessarily have to be in the first team, as in they're playing in the first team. These players can get sold on. You can you're getting money for these players that you can reinvest into the team, and then move forward that way. It's another way of getting revenue. It's another way of keeping yourself at the top. Predictions for next season. One thing I will say, which was one of the most humbling things I've heard from a football fan. I asked Chris, what are your expectations or goals for next season? And he said survival, which is a breath of fresh air coming from a team who's been in the Premier League for this amount of time. It's very easy for teams that have come up and feel that they have solidified their spot in the Premier League to then start thinking about, okay, we need to get Europe, we need to get this, we need to get that. And it's not a bad model of a football team to want to survive and then slowly grow on from there. Eventually, they're going to have more sort of aspirations to be bigger or be better or whatnot. But they're just biding their time, and they know that while they're doing this, there's nothing wrong with what they're doing at the moment. Jerome, what do you reckon their predictions for next season are?
God, it all depends what happens with the manager and with who they sell. But every year, I always think, Burnley are going to struggle this year, and every year they don't. So I think if Dice stays there, I think it's mainly down to the manager, because he's one of the managers. He can, I know it's a cliche, he gets the best out of his players. He really gets the best out of them. So I think if he stays, I think they'll stay up. Yeah. Whereabouts they'll finish, I'm not sure, but I think they'll stay in the division again.
All right. Go on, Simon. Give us what you got. Where are they going to end up next season?
I reckon either 15th or 14th. Because I see, obviously, you've got Sheffield United. They're just going to get not very strong, but they'll get stronger than what they were this year. Wolves are going to get stronger. Then you've got Leicester as well going up there. But then Newcastle could happen. I don't know. Dramatic U-turn and takeover happens or whatever. They could get stronger. Southampton look very good underneath their manager.
Yeah.
Very good. You've got Leeds that have come up. You've got West Brom, Fulham that have come up. I do see them fighting off relegation for most of the season. And if I'm wrong, fair play. Come on here. Absolutely bash me.
It's predictions. Not every team can stay up. Not every team can have it easy all season. Like this is all opinions. Like it's nothing wrong with your opinion, Si.
But yeah, I see them either 14th or 15th. If they can add 2 or 3 players, even if they're just loans that make the midfield or help Chris Wood up top score more goals, possibly, but they ain't finishing anywhere near higher than 12th, in my opinion.
All right, Steve, what do you think for Burnley next season?
Yeah, I agree with a bit of what both the boys have said. I think if you've got Sean Dice as a manager, they definitely won't get relegated, and the rest of it all depends on who they can keep, whether they can keep Nick Pope, whether they can keep Ashley Barnes, whether they can keep Dwight McNeil, if they can keep them players, which I'm a bit unsure about. They probably can. I'd say probably round about 12th. 12th round about middle table. I don't think they'll struggle.
Yeah, I mean, if they go off how they did this season and they look at what they need to work on, they've conceded too many goals, as I said. And if they're looking to strengthen up and tighten up that area, then I can see a similar finish to what they did this year. They had a very good end to the season. Who knows how the situation and the lack of fans or whatnot played into that. But who's to say that's not going to be the same up until 90% of the season next year?
I think the goalkeeper, whether they keep him or not, is going to play a big part in where they finish.
One thing Burnley are good at, though, is bringing in goalkeepers. I mean, even since when they first came to the Premier League and they had Jensen, that big Danish geezer. I mean, they're not bad at picking goalkeepers. And before they had Pope, it was Hutton, wasn't it? Hutton. What's his name? I can't remember his name.
Yeah, Hutton.
Yeah. So and he was an England goalkeeper as well. So they know how to pick a goalkeeper. Good luck next year. Hopefully, Simon is not the judge, jury, and executioner of Burnley. Next up, we've got Leicester City. Leicester City and Brendan Rodgers. They're bringing sexy football back, aren't they? The old Rude Hullet style. They're excellent season again. You can't knock what they've done year in, year out since they've come up and saved themselves from relegation. Won the league in probably the greatest fairy tale of a football team ever, and it just keeps on continuing. Each year they go from strength to strength. For most of the year they were looking like they were going to get that Champions League spot, if not for a few dodgy results and a bad return from COVID. They would have had that. I think it's only 4 points off in the end. And they lost out to Man United and Chelsea, which is nothing to be ashamed of. Brendan Rodgers' recruitment's excellent. Jamie Vardy's still smashing in goals. Do I need to carry on? Do I need to say any more? Should we just go straight to a roundup now?
Yeah.
Go on, we'll start with you, Simon. How good did Leicester do this season? 5th place finish.
Yeah, Leicester have done well this season. They have done well, but losing Maddison to injury and then losing Soyuncu towards the end as well to like an injury / suspension, it did cost them, because I think if Maddison and Soyuncu were still in that team and there was somebody else that they missed as well, I can't remember the name though, they were basically, if they stayed healthy, a full squad, I reckon they would have finished it top 4. But what's cost them, basically, is not being consistent. Coming in after lockdown, it looked like to me, the first game they played, it looked like they were tired already. It looked like they could not pick themselves up. The pressure, they'll have to deal with pressure next season, because Man United resigning Fernandes and taking Lingard out and putting him in, you saw the difference. They were on them, proper on them. With Chelsea, they've still got that team, so they were fine. I weren't worried about them whatsoever. But Leicester, it were Man United, they were 14 points clear before lockdown, and they literally threw it away. Absolutely threw it away.
They'll be hurting after that, won't they? The fans will be hurting, the players will be hurting, the manager. But again, when you look back at it, at 5th spot, you've got Europa League. There's something they won't. It's bittersweet, isn't it?
It's still good for them. Europa League's still good for them.
But you're still thinking we could have had Champions League again, and the difference between Champions League and Europa League financially is it's a different stratosphere. Jerome, how good were Leicester this year?
Excellent. Very 2 secs. Sorry, is there a bit loud in the background?
No, it's all right.
Oh, you're right. Okay. They got 9 points in 9 games after lockdown, and that's what's done them. Getting the Champions League places. Also, they had both their fullbacks were out for the last part of the season. Pereira and Chilwell, and the 2 of those guys.
Chilwell, that was it.
Yeah. So the 2 of those guys, they created over 116 chances between them, just the fullbacks. And I think losing them 2, that's what's cost them. But you can't knock the manager. If you would have said, they'd have finished 5th before the season started, they might have taken it perhaps. But and Vardy, keeps going, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's non-stop. How long can he keep on going, Steve? And how do they replace him? And how good was their season this year? I've given you all 3 questions in one.
Yeah, what was that? Jamie Vardy. I don't think they'll ever have another Jamie Vardy. I think they just better keep him going, lock him up, put him away, and just keep him fit and give him whatever he wants as long as he can. But he does seem to keep going on and on and on. It's hard to think, when he finishes. I hope not, because I like Leicester. But you do worry about when Vardy hangs up his boots or he loses that bit of pace. What will happen? Who will score their goals? I hope they do. Thereafter, they may be sort of looking at that in a minute with a few links that I've seen. But as far as where they finished, finished fifth. It sounds good. It is good. It is good. but since the restart, and the collapse, it's going to leave a bad taste in their mouths. You won't be able to get away from that. But it was an excellent effort again. When they won the title, everyone was saying one team wonder. They're certainly not a one team wonder, because they've finished in and up there, and they're fighting for European places ever since they've won the league. But they was, like someone said, on fire at the beginning of the season. I think they lost 2 games out of the first 16. I think that was to Man United and Liverpool. I think they scored 4 against Newcastle, 9 against Southampton, 4 against Villa. They was on fire. And then over Christmas, they collapsed. And I think Simon says consistency. And he's exactly right, because this is where your consistency goes. You're starting well, and then you're falling away. And then you're starting well again, and then you're falling away again, like they did when they came back after the restart. If they had gained these points, sort of spread them over more of a season, people probably wouldn't have noticed that collapse. But everybody's thinking, oh, the collapse of Leicester, which
they're probably matching up to the collapse of Liverpool when
I think's unfair. Which I think's unfair.
It is unfair. And what the difference in that as well is Leicester haven't got a squad. They've probably got their first 11 to say 12, 14 that they could sort of say, okay, if he comes in, it's okay. It's near enough like for like. Once you start to get past that, it's youth players, or it's players that are just not quite there, or if they might not even have that 12 to 15. They might just have the solid 11. If this 11's there, we're winning, or we've got as much chance of winning this game as anyone. But once you get past that, the levels are starting to drop a bit. It obviously seems that way a bit where you lose Pereira. We're talking about a player who's been one of the best right backs in the league, and then Ben Chilwell as well, who's looking like he might be going to Chelsea for 60 million and upwards. So it's not like you're losing bang average players. You're losing top quality players there as well. But then who's your replacements? Are they adequate enough to sort of fill in that void for 2 to 3 games? And if they're not, that's the progression. It's getting in squad players, or it's getting in better players so you can move them squad players out to the squad players. What is it they need, and what is it that they're bringing in? Steve, Simon, let's start with Simon. What is it they need, and what have you heard that they're bringing in?
Well, they've got William Carvalho coming in, haven't they? I don't think that's changed since COVID, because Leicester don't really have that much to worry about with their owner. But basically, they've got him coming in. They've got James Maddison on a new deal. I've been told that he's signed a new deal. Yes. Don't know why it's not been announced yet, but Aubameyang's not been announced, has it?
I think it did get announced.
Has it?
Yeah, but I don't know whether it's been announced, but it was like he's going to sign a new. I think it's $100,000 a week deal in it, something like that.
Yeah, 120, I was told, on a 4-year deal. So they've done well tying him down. So if big clubs come in for him, you're paying top dollar again. I'm not being funny. They should get 200 million for him if they're getting 64 for Ben Chilwell. I'm sorry, but that's all I'm going to say. We paid 25 for Tini. Got to get that shot in there. I think they need another centre back to go next to Siyunku, because as good as Morgan is, he's not a spring chicken anymore.
Is he like 36, isn't he, or 35? Yeah. Is he near that?
Johnny Evans, I think a perfect shout, and Newcastle fans are going to kill me for this, would be Lascelles. What's his Lascelles? What's his name now?
Lascelles.
Yeah, I think he would be a fantastic shout for Leicester City.
Mhm.
Really good. Next to Sionku, them two, and then you've got Evans as a backup and Morgan as a backup, so they can just come in and rotate. That would be really good. And Leicester should replace Ben Chilwell because you've got the money for Telefico. Go and get him.
Oh, mate, if they brought in Nicholas Telefico, I think they'd be upgrading from Ben Chilwell.
Massively. I mean, Ricardo on wings.
Yeah, on the defensive side, you've pretty much got a free role for your winger there to cheat, basically. If you've got Telefico behind you, just sort of covering in. Steve, what is it you think of Leicester need, and what have they been? Who are they linked to?
Well, Brendan Rodgers has been pretty outspoken when it comes to what Leicester needs. He wants a flair player. He wants a centre back, like Simon's already said, but he does want a centre back, and he wants a forward. And funny enough, the links that I found all sort of tie in with that. I mean, Dwight McNeil has been linked with Leicester. He agrees. Eduardo is another one who's been linked with Leicester with the Brendan Rodgers thing. Yeah. So that's a possible. But centre backs is the main one because Sanucci could be on his way to Barca.
There's a lot of talk on that, isn't there?
A lot of talk of that. And there's also Johnny Evans is in the last year of his contract, and it doesn't look like he will be signing a new one. So hence you've got Merrill, Demaral, and Jean-Claude Todibo, who are also linked.
Yeah, Jerome, you had a little look at these two. What kind of a defender are you getting if you get Talibo?
God, so this is the guy that's at Barcelona. Yeah. That was on loan at Schalke. I know I mentioned when we spoke about Dwight McNeil, I mentioned about a Rolls Royce of a player, and this guy reminds me of Rio Ferdinand. The way he carries the ball out, how calm he is on the ball. He's only 20 years old. He's 6'3". He's another one of these centre backs that the French have got that is just outstanding.
Like a ram.
Yeah, he's another one on the list. They just on the conveyor belt. He's got huge potential. He's very confident on the ball. He's happy to dribble past attackers, like to sort of, I guess, break the press. Excellent dribbling ability. The thing with Barcelona is if he's going to stay there, is it depends how sort of patient they are for success. Because this guy will be excellent. Just depends if Barcelona are prepared to sort of wait rather than sort of sell him and get some money.
Yeah, the noise is coming out is that they're going to sell him, and you'll probably get him for a decent price as well. What about Demaral? What kind of a player would Leicester be getting if they got him in?
So if they got Demaral in, he's I don't know if you could say idol. The player he looked up to was Vidic, and he plays just like Vidic. He's a warrior. He's brave, loves a tackle, but he's also quite composed as well and calm. He's not really rash. He slides in a lot. He slides in a hell of a lot, but he always seems to come away with the ball. He's got a bit unlucky this season because he played a few times for Juve and he picked up an ACL injury. Yeah, another young centre back. He's only 22, but 6'3". Yeah, he's and I'll tell you what he does, which Arsenal fans sort of will understand. You know, when Socrates used to slide tackle players, he used to sort of punch the air, he used to cheer a tackle. This is what this guy does. He celebrates a tackle.
You'd take them both, wouldn't you? You'd take them both. you've got a mixture of both there. I mean, Leicester City. Get excited.
Socrates does that. We're trying to get him out.
Yeah.
Leicester have already put in 2 bids for Di Maria.
Yeah.
First bid 24.5, and then 34. They've both been rejected.
Yeah.
But I think they are going to go back in. Jerome, who are the best? Who's the best one? Because I haven't really seen them. I've seen little bits of them, but not. Would they? Are they bidding for the right one? Are they getting the right one?
Who would I have? Maybe John Clare Todibo. Maybe the one from Bath.
I thought the same.
They're both excellent. They're both with General, he played, I think, 6 times for Juve, and by all accounts became like a fan's favourite there just after a few games. And Todibo, he went there in January on loan. He went to Schalke on loan in January. In March, he won the Schalke Player of the Month voted by the fans. Like they're both.
Yeah.
They're both excellent players.
Yeah. Wow, you draw me in there, Jerome. I feel like I need to go and watch the footage of them.
Schalke were gutted. Schalke were absolutely gutted when Todibo left Barcelona, pulled them back. They was in tears when he left. They was gutted.
He's a top player, and I think that clubs will be getting a bargain with him because Barcelona really need to sell.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think he's one that they'd probably just end up selling on the cheap because they need to make some money. One thing we did have a look at, we had a look at youth players. I found a couple that I like the look of. Jerome, who did you like the look of?
So from what I saw, they've got a young striker called George Hurst.
Yes.
Now, some of the not the older,
mature.
Yeah, some of the wiser. That's it. Some of the more wiser viewers might remember a striker for Sheffield Wednesday called David Hurst.
I thought you were going to say Jeff Hurst.
No.
This is his son, so he might be one to keep an eye on. Very tall, maybe a target man sort of striker, perhaps.
But he's got a bit more about him than that, though, isn't he?
Yeah, true.
He's got a bit of pace. He's a danger in the box, and he's very well renowned in the under-23 scene for being that danger in the box. It's almost as if it's like, oh God, we're playing George today. It's like that. That's what people are around him. There's a couple of other ones. Darnell Johnson, a right back, very strong. What's that noise?
What's that mean?
I don't even know where that's coming from.
Not sure.
No, the noise is still going. I don't know. Hopefully, no one else can hear it. There's a couple of others. Darnell Johnson, very good right back, strong. He's a beast. Loves getting forward. He's got a great pass in him as well. There's a list of them. Josh Knight, Leighton Ndwahu, and Ali Regiba. They've got players coming through, and they've obviously got players that are already in the first team, like Hamza Chowdhury and Harvey Barnes. So they've got a very, very, very good youth rank at all levels, under 23s, under 18s, and they're giving them opportunities in the first team, which is exactly what you want when it comes to setting up these youth team setups. So Leicester are doing really good things, and I'd keep an eye out for that George Hurst because he's definitely one that it might not be at Leicester, but I think he'll be one that if he gets sold from Leicester, he'll end up going through like a different league or something like that, and then you'll see him later on down the line, 100%. Last one of the agenda of Leicester. How do you think they're going to finish next season? Steve, we'll start with you.
I think they'll be up there again. I think they'll be fighting for Europe again. I don't think they'll be get into the Champions League places because I think there's going to be teams that are going to be getting a lot stronger. I think they'll make Champions League places. I would say I think they'd finish round about where they finished this season. I'd go 6. Finish 6 this season, next season.
Yeah. All right, Simon. How do you reckon they get on next season?
Same as Ashley. Solid 7.
Yeah.
Because if you look at how it is going now, look at what Chelsea are spending. Man United, Liverpool, and City are already up there. We're talking about players that Arsenal are trying to bring in. We'll come to that later. Then you look at Sheffield United, they'll spend. You don't know how Leeds are going to do. I just think Leicester, they'll not have a bad season. I think they'll win a cup. I think Leicester will win a cup, and I think it'll either be the FA Cup or they'll win the Europa League. That's what I'm going for.
Speaking
I hope they don't.
That's one thing that these two, and I think this speaks for Burnley as well. One thing that these clubs need to do, they're clubs that are now established Premier League teams. Giving your team a little bit of a push in a cup competition. I think for Burnley and for Leicester, both teams are not. I say they're not going to get relegated. You never know, but they've finished 10th and they've finished 6th. It wouldn't have hurt to have a little bit of a push in one of them 2 cup competitions. I mean,
they didn't do too bad.
That's it.
They didn't do too bad in the Carabao Cup. Leicester, they finished semi-finals.
Yeah, but they got slaughtered for putting out a weakened team against a weakened Man City team. And they took them to the edge on that one as well. I think Burnley, they went out to Sunderland in the first round of the Carabao Cup. They lost
Norwich,
3-1.
Wasn't it? Norwich, I think
they lost in the Carabao Cup as well to Sunderland. It's a League One team, and it's you're prioritising staying in the league. We understand that, but I think it gets to a certain. You can put off fans moaning about your league position, which is a comfortable league position, mid-table around that. If that's consistent, if you then have every now and again you have a nice cup run, them little bits of excitement for fans, like it keeps them sweet. Trust me.
I mean, Burnley put out. I see Burnley's side. I see the side that Burnley put out against Norwich.
Yeah.
That when Norwich knocks them out, I mean, it was ridiculous. If I was a Burnley fan, I wouldn't be happy.
Yeah.
They should go for it.
And that's the thing. Jerome, how do you think Leicester will get on next season?
I think they will. I think they'll be challenging for the Champions League places, but I think they'll fall slightly below. I think they'll probably, like the boy said, maybe 6th, 7th, something like that for next season.
All right.
I reckon.
All right. I think we've been fair. I think we've given a fair account of both teams. Both teams had a really good season, so good luck for next season, everyone. Make sure you boys and girls like and subscribe. Come and like the Twitter page, follow the Twitter page, follow the Instagram page. We've got transfer news coming up soon. I mean, with Burnley, I've pretty much given you your transfer news for the whole window. Yeah. Joe Worrell. That's it. And if we get any updates on Joe Worrell, we'll give you that. But I mean, you've made it pretty easy for us, Burnley.
Otherwise, we're just not going to go on. We're just going to sit here.
Yeah, transfer talk with Burnley hour. Joe Worrell. Yeah, that's it. That's it. But you know what you like, and you go and get it. All right. Next up, we've got the Golden Boy. It's nearly coming to an end, boys and girls. It's nearly done. And now we've got the obvious names, the fun names for some people. We're going to start with Steve. Who did you get this week?
Oh, I got a weird one this week.
Actually, you did.
I've got a weird one, but probably not for the reason you'll put anyway. I got his name's Juan Miranda. He's 20 years old, Spanish player. He's Barcelona. He went to Schalke on loan. Position is a left back. He's at Barcelona for another 3 years, so they thought he was good enough to sign him up quickly. And they've also put a 200 million release clause on his head. So you can see that they had no plans of getting rid of him. When he went to Schalke, he didn't have a good time there. They obviously went at the restart. They shipped him 14 goals at the start. He's a product of the Masia Academy, the famous Barcelona Academy. He's had 19 caps for Spain. He's already played in the Barcelona team. He played against in the Champions League against Spurs. They'd like him to Jordi Alba. He loves to bomb down the left there. He's got a fantastic engine, and that's what I found out. And then I spoke to a friend of ours who's a supporter who he played for, and she said the total opposite, and that the fact that he's a total disaster. And they actually begged Barcelona to take him back because he was on a 2 years and they actually took him back because he was that bad.
Wow.
So I'm sorry, Juan. But I tried.
You ain't the Juan.
You're not the one. I tried my best, and then I spoke to my contact, and then she just ripped it to pieces. So I thought, well, you know more than me. So, but hopefully he's 20 years old. He's only young. There seemed to be enough in his earlier times at Barca to seem he was decent. So.
Right. We're not judging on his time at Schalke, but not being funny. Like, can anyone really be judged on their time at Schalke from that restart? No. God awful. Like, I don't even want to talk about the manager and how he's even still there. But I think he's just going to do the same as what he did with Huddersfield, if I'm honest. So I think if odds on first manager to be sacked in the Bundesliga will be him.
Yeah. David Wagner actually said that he felt that Barcelona hoaxed him. And they built him up to be this and that, and they lied, and he wasn't happy. That's why they.
Because that's what you do when you identify targets for positions that you need. Just take it off. There's a club that's trying to give him to you. If that's how the transfer market works, I tell you what, I'll get on the phone now to people. Jeez, Simon, what have you got for us today?
You can still hear that beeping noise as well.
I know. I don't even know where it's coming from, mate.
I think it might be Jerome, bless him. It is. I thought it was because of earphones, I think.
All right, let's go.
I've got someone now where I'm going to go on the missing list for about a year because Steve's going to come and actually finish me off. I have got the second best left back in world football, Alphonso David.
Don't even say who you think is going to be first best side. You're going to ruin it. I knew he was going to say that. You're fucking obsessed. You're obsessed. Go on.
See you later.
My boy Kieran Tierney. Get used to it, Steve. Get used to it.
True.
Go on, let's go.
I don't need to say much about this kid, do I? 19 years of age. He's already won 2 Bundesligas, 2 German Cups, and 1 Youth Cup, and another trophy. I can't quite pronounce that one. Rated already at 19 years old. He's on the transfer market at 54 million. And he's 19. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. He don't have much goals and assists to his game, but that's not his strength. Nowhere near. I can't wait to watch this kid next season with Leroy Sané on the same side as him.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm getting involved in this. And you say he's not added much goals and assists, but it's his everything he does before that. He is a live wire. His pace is electric.
He's quick as old.
It's lightning, and he causes so much trouble. He's the kind of player that just from being on the pitch, a player will sit in a different position, which will open up space for someone else. And he could do nothing all game, and he would cause people trouble because they will, for fear of them taking him on for pace.
Do you know what? Before someone goes on, he's nearly as good as Ben Chilwell.
And how much?
You're trying to wind me up there, Steve.
Do you know what?
You're trying to wind me up there.
It didn't register in my head. It didn't register in my head what you just said. And I'm so about to answer that with a dignified response.
Bloody hell.
I
know Rotherham United's left back that's better than Ben Chilwell.
It didn't register in my head what you're saying. It's because Ben Chilwell. He's lightning. He's lightning.
I know Rotherham's
Jerome
left
was
back
there.
that's
Jerome
better
was
than
there.
Ben Chilwell. Anyway, he did the 100-metre sprint as well at Munich. Guess how quick he clocked it?
11.
10:35.
10:35.
10:35. He clocked it.
He's in the wrong
That's
spot.
ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That's Olympic sprinter's time.
It is. He's quick as old.
He's not training as a sprinter. He's not
Best
training
thing-
as a sprinter.
Best thing about it, if somebody gets injured for left back, he can play there, but he can also play left wing, right wing, and can actually play on the right back as well. He's not good on right back, but he can play right back. So all four corners of the squad he can cover. It's unbelievable to say he's 19 years of age. Literally, it's like if you wanted him from Munich as well, it's going to cost you upwards to 150, just over 180 to even just get him.
Yeah,
And I tell you how good he is. He's that good. They've had to move Kimmich into the middle of the park.
Yeah,
that's how good
and he don't want to move back, and he's been outstanding as well. It's like the new Philip Lam, isn't he? Bayern Munich have just, I don't know, they make me sick. They're that good. Jerome,
they're so well done.
Jerome, they are. Jerome, what you got for us today?
Whole squad.
I'll keep mine very brief because I think everyone knows about this player. It's Borussia Dortmund's Erling Haaland.
That'd be right up this week.
Yeah, he's since his move to Dortmund, he's played 15 games. He's only scored 13 goals. This is the sort of player. John Terry used to say there was one player that used to give him sleepless nights before games, and that was if he was playing against Thierry Henry the next day. I think Haaland's the type of striker that defenders that are playing against him, they'll have sleepless nights as well. It's very rare you find a player that's 6'4" that is so quick and technically gifted, and he's a goal machine. I think you can't say more than that really. He'll just score you. He's guaranteed goals, isn't he? And he's only just turned 20. So yeah, he's going to be if he's not already, he's going to be a superstar.
Yeah, and I'm sure no matter what Man United will say about the deal that was offered, I'm sure they'll be kicking themselves after seeing how good he is since he's been in Germany. But it's not as clear cut as what people may lead you to think on that deal. Although Man United did turn down the chance of taking him with that clause in his contract after 2 years that he'd be able to leave for 53 million. He also didn't like the fact that Man United were telling him that he'd be going into the under-23s if he joined. So I don't think it was working on his side of it as well. The one reason why he went to Borussia Dortmund was because he was guaranteed assurances that he would have first team football, something that he wasn't guaranteed at Man United. So
it's scary. It's scary how much Bayern Munich's team all they cost 90 million. That's how much their squad is worth.
The thing is with Bayern Munich, it's a bit like a Real Madrid and Barcelona. Barcelona of old. They identify their player. The player then makes it clear that he only wants to go to that team. So then it drags down the price tag of the player. It's a known tactic. It's what Bayern Munich do. They know who they want, and
that's it. They've got Upamecano coming next summer, aren't they?
I mean, that was his
first preference.
First preference early doors. That was what he was meant to do. We don't know. The climate could have changed since then, but I personally think we'll see Upamecano in a Bayern Munich top other than anyone else.
Yeah, he's better than Boateng, isn't he? You know,
and Boateng's coming towards the end of it, so it's one of them. Thank you very much, boys. It is the time for the eagerly anticipated. I'm waiting for this. I've got this little eye in the corner here. I'm waiting for the numbers to go. When I say transfer roundup, when all the other screens just blow up, like that's my pyrotechnics. Here we go. The transfer roundup. Let's go. Arsenal defender Zach Medley has gone on a season-long loan to Gillingham to gain first-team experience. Good luck, Zach. He needs it. He's definitely got potential. He definitely needs to go out on loan and get some first-team experience. Real Madrid are interested in signing Sevilla centre-back Jules Koundé. Jerome, what kind of defender is he?
He's I can see why they're interested in him. He's very small for a centre back. He's only 5'11". He reminds me a little bit of, I guess, like a Kolo Touré. He wasn't the tallest centre back. He pops up for a centre back. He pops up all over the pitch. He's constantly supplementing the midfield. It's like having an extra midfielder play for you with him. Very solid. When he comes out with the ball into midfield, it doesn't look like, oh, that's a centre back in midfield. It looks like, oh, that's a midfielder in midfield. He could probably play every position, to be honest. He's got very quick feet. He's agile. Very rarely gets beaten. Again, one of these French centre backs that they're producing. Only 21. Superb player.
And they're looking to get him as a replacement for Sergio Ramos, who is not even a centre-back. He is a forward that just happens to be sitting in that centre-back role. So it's not surprising that they're looking for a very expansive type of just footballer who can just play all-round in that centre-back role. Man United are facing a fight to sign Leicester keeper Kasper Schmeichel. I mean, it's probably got a little bit of a dream for Kasper to probably go and play for Man United. Do you know what I mean? It's one of them stories. Liverpool placed a 20 million fee for Harry Wilson. Leeds, Newcastle and Southampton are all interested in him. Hertha Berlin have become front runners for the signature of Weston McKennie. Steve, is there an update on Weston McKennie, or is it still Hertha Berlin who are our favourites?
Yeah, it's Hertha Berlin who are favourites. It's like I said earlier, Schalke are in dire need of the money. Mm-hmm. Southampton are interested. Yeah, they would like to sign a player, and so would Everton. But the thing is, with Hertha Berlin, they are quite happy just to bang out the cash and for Weston to become a Hertha Berlin player, and he's quite happy to stay in Germany. So at the moment, it seems to me, unless Southampton come up with a bigger, a different way of paying it out, then it looks like he'll be off to Hertha Berlin.
All right. Seeing as we're following the Weston McKennie story, we followed it from the start. Some of you might not know what kind of a player he is. Jerome, you had a look at him. What kind of a player is Weston McKennie? What kind of player would he be getting?
Yeah, so he's a central midfielder, mainly defensively minded, very hardworking. In terms of his personalities, he seems very humble, very down to earth. He's happy to do the sort of the dirty work, but then again, you'll see him and he'll play those through balls in between the fullback and the centre back. He's got that in his locker as well. But one of his biggest attributes is his aerial ability. His win percentage in terms of duels. He's got the best win percentage out of any midfielder or attacker in the Bundesliga. And he's not 6'4", 6'5". I think he's 6'1". And he's got a great engine as well. So he's one of those players that I think a manager would like to have in their team. He can be very effective and do parts of the game that not a lot of players like to do. So yeah, and he's young, 21. He's one of America's sort of brightest prospects.
Yeah, which is probably why Southampton wanted him as a replacement for Højbjerg. It makes sense.
Yeah.
It's that sort of player. Arsenal made contact with Marseille over midfielder Morgan Sanson. Was there anything in that? Don't know. We didn't really look into that. We'd be looking into it anyway. Manchester United have identified Barcelona Ousmane Dembele as a backup option for Jadon Sancho. We will be giving you a Jadon Sancho update very soon. Hull have completed the sign of Richie Smallwood on a free transfer. Ivan Toney. Steve, do we have an update on Ivan Toney?
Oh, Mr. Ivan Toney. The saga goes on. You probably be able to tell. You'll probably be experts on Ivan Toney by the end of this transfer is finished. But like I say again, Peterborough want 10 million. You're still getting the Celtic rumours, but I'll say again. But they're in talks with Stephen Fletcher. That was confirmed by Neil Lennon, which I said last week, and also they've just bought. I've got to butcher this name. Ayaban Ajeti from West Ham.
Striker.
So you got two centre forwards there. So they're not going to buy another centre forward.
No.
So Tony had been given permission to talk to Celtic. That's as far as it went. Peter wants 10 million. They won't go any less than that. The chairman has come out and quoted that on radio, on newspapers, on TV. The most likely place where he's going to go at the moment still looks like Brentford, because Ollie Watkins does look like he's going to be leaving for a Premiership club in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we'll keep you updated.
All right, Ivan Toney, where he goes, we follow. Just remember that, Ivan. Sorry, I meant fans of Ivan Toney. we're not stalking you, Ivan. We just know where you go.
Wherever you go, we go.
Willian completes his move to Arsenal on a free transfer. A little quick one, just to let people know, Willian is not on 200 grand a week. Yeah, if he fulfills his contract. Yeah, stop listening to headlines. Stop listening to headlines. He's not on 200 grand a week. If he fulfills his contract and he hits every single goal and bonus share of that contract during the duration, he will be on 200 grand a week. But if he does that, Arsenal will be in the Champions League. He'll be like top goal scorer for Arsenal and stuff like that. So it'd be worth 200 grand a week. And then, yeah, like you said, there's nonsense talk. Nonsense talk. All they go is, Williams on 200 grand a week. If he does all these bonuses and Arsenal get Champions League, what was that? Or was that? I couldn't quite hear you because the truth getting in the way of a good story is not interesting to you. So yeah, stop believing all that rubbish. I actually had someone send me a message the other day going, 200 grand a week, mate. That is 32. I was like, what are you talking about, bruv? He's not on 200 grand a week, you donut. Move on. Anyway, Ozan Kabak update. Steve, can we have an Ozan Kabak update, please?
Ozan Kabak's update. Well, Ozan Kabak, it looks like his move's finally coming to an end. Liverpool have made contact with Schalke over a deal with Ozan Kabak. Talks are ongoing. But there's still this thing about the money.
Yeah, you got to pay it, Liverpool. Bloody hell.
We've got to pay it. I said, what do you mean we've got to pay money? Yeah, Ozan Kabak wants to go to Liverpool. Jurgen Klopp wants to sign Ozan Kabak, and at the moment, if there's no other club in for him. Tottenham were in for him, but they wanted to pay £5 a week, so we can't have that.
Honestly, you want to hear some of the deals that I'm not even going to bring it up here because it will come across like I'm slandering teams here. But some of the deals that some of these clubs are trying, yeah,
it is absolutely incredible. These deals that people. Why are these clubs coming out with these? You're seeing a player. He's a star player. He's a good player. You're thinking, yeah, and then you're hearing about what their deal is and the way they want to do it. Where are they coming from? Loans
for players like Leon Bailey.
It's like Thiago from Bayern Munich. They've agreed personal terms. He's house hunting in Liverpool, but Liverpool have come out and said, and Klopp has said, we will not be paying €30 million for Thiago.
That's nuts. Like seriously. That's a
bargain.
That's a bargain. That's a steal. Like they're being silly. I know he's only got a year left in his contract, and it's the same as Alaba. But still, like, stop messing around. They're waiting until the end of the transfer window. Just spend it. Just spend it. Yeah, do you know what I mean?
How can you sit in there? I mean, it must be embarrassing for the player and for Bayern Munich for him to be offered for 30 million for this geezer. It's ridiculous.
Do you know what? Do you know why it's embarrassing for the player, Steve? Because the player's telling all his teammates that he's going. The player's looking to buy a house in Liverpool, and it could be by the start of the season he's got to then turn around and go back into the team.
Yeah,
like, that's what's embarrassing, and that's no good. Like, so get this one over the line. Like, even though, I mean, it's not for my benefit, but it's for the Premier League's benefit because he's a player.
I mean, Osman can back. They've 25 million is the price. Osman's 25. So you've got 30 for Thiago. That's 55 pounds for them 55 million for those two players.
Plus the fullback they got last week.
I mean, incredible deal. Fantastic.
Well, it remains to be seen. Personally, I think it's something that will get done. I think they're fine money.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah. Crystal Palace are expected to go in the pursuit of FCSB winger Florinel Koeman, Romania. Wow, they're proper going in the depths there. How good is he? What kind of a player is he, Jerome?
Not sure. I don't know. I don't think I've studied him.
That's what I meant. I meant, in your imagination, what kind of a player he is? That's my fault. See how that smooth transition was, people. That show business. The show must go on, and it will do. Yeah. Immobile has confirmed that Newcastle did approach him and his agent for a possible move in the summer. I put that out, and Newcastle fans buried me, absolutely buried me. You liar, man, you liar. Like, I was just like, all right, calm down, boys. All right, I feel like deleting that. What the hell? But I found that out on an Italian website, and I put it out there, and they called me a liar. Well, how wrong they were. Mario Götze wants to join a Premier League team. Many clubs expected to chase after his signature. Leicester, Wolves, AC Milan, Juventus, all after. No, wait, sorry, I didn't take a pause there. That's my fault. Leicester, Wolves, AC Milan, and Juventus are all interested in Dwight McNeil.
I was going to say.
Mario Götze, the links were Arsenal,
Rochdale, Northampton, Stamford.
It's a want. It's a want. We all want a lot of things at Christmas and birthdays. We don't all get them, but I don't think Mario Götze's going to be seen in the Premier League. I don't think it'd be the right move for any Premier League team. It's from what I've seen of Mario Götze in the last couple of years, he probably needs to go somewhere like Italy or something, or maybe drop down a bit in Spain. Real Madrid have recalled Martin Odegaard from his 2-season loan spell. Zinedine Zidane feels that he has a future. Wants to feature next season at Las Blancos. Arsenal want Ajax star Quincy Promes to bolster their attack. We looked into this one a little bit. Conflicting views. Steve, what did you hear about the Quincy Promes? Did you find anything on this?
Well, we've got two friends in Holland. One said, "You don't know what you're talking about," and the other one said that there are rumours. He would be a fantastic player for Arsenal, I think, if we bought him. Quick, fast, strong, dynamic, very Sergio Aguero-like for me. Does most of his work inside the box. If I was to put my money in it, after a few days since it's come out, I would say it's something that's, I wouldn't put my money on it's going to happen.
Just paper fluff. Jerome, you had a little look at him. Would he fit into Arsenal well?
Not possibly as a left winger. I mean, he had 4 seasons in Moscow, and they loved him there. So they called him. They didn't call him Promise. They called him Promessi. They really liked him. But then he went to Seville, and he had I think he played 1 season there. He only scored a couple of goals. He didn't really get in the team, mainly a sub. And then he's obviously had half a decent season with Ajax. Maybe I wouldn't have him as a start. I wouldn't say he would be a first choice forward player for Arsenal, but maybe as a squad player, maybe as a backup.
I think it maybe his agent is playing for a little bit of a move there, possibly. That's usually the way it is when no one in the club's heard it, and then a couple of people around the area have. Sky Sports reports that Bayern Munich midfielder Thiago Alcantara wants to play for Liverpool. He's even bought a house in Liverpool. We just spoke about it. Steve, what was you saying on that one? It was.
Yeah. The only thing that seems to be holding that up is that is the way that the fee is going to be paid, and we've just spoke about that all Bayern Munich want is 30 million. I can't believe they only want 30 million.
They've got 1 year left. They can't really ask for more.
Is he on a year contract? Is that
he's got a year left.
But fantastic player, fantastic signing. I wish my team was signing him. I think he's a fantastic player.
We are the backup. No, we are. We are the backup. I have that on good authority.
Watching him the other night, he was quality. But
he's class, isn't he? He's a little magician, but he's a little bit deeper. You talk about Coutinho, he's the deeper version of Coutinho, and I mean, he fits in any team.
I also was told that if you're going to go if you've got Alcantara and Coutinho, you would want to go for Alcantara. But as you say, we probably are the backup, but he wants Liverpool.
Yeah. He does.
He wants Liverpool.
He wants Liverpool. No one wants to be backup. Juventus are interested in signing Isco of Real Madrid. Wow. Good signing. Fenerbahce are keen on signing Leicester striker Kelechi Iheanacho. They're going to put in a 12 million bid soon. Alexandre Lacazette is wanted by Juventus. Come on, side. They've got the Arsenal fans in the comment section right now. They're chomping at the bit to hear about Arsenal. This is the first bit of Arsenal you're going to hear tonight. Don't worry, there's more to come, boys and girls. What you got for me then, Simon? This is not a rumour. This is true. This is true. Come on.
This is 100% true. I've told Kieran this, and even he were gobsmacked. But Juventus are actually happy. There's loads of reports that have come out saying that Juventus don't want to get rid of Dybala, right? They don't want to get rid of Dybala. They want to give him a new contract. They don't want a swap deal with Lacazette. Tosh. Absolute rubbish. Arsenal and Juventus are in negotiations with each other for a swap deal with cash. I think it will Lacazette plus 20 million for Paulo Dybala. Now, Dybala has given his okay to Arsenal to come for next season, but it's Lacazette at the minute that's stamping his heels in and saying that he doesn't want to leave Arsenal. But this is obviously, he can see that Arsenal now, with under Arteta, and I'm not bigging Arteta up here, I'm just telling you what we can see and what we've heard. Good things are coming for Arsenal. We know we can see this happening, and these players can see it. That's why they're struggling at the minute to get them out of the door. But Dybala and Lacazette, 100% is on.
It's so annoying. We spoke about this.
We spoke about this for about an hour the other day, mate.
We just I was told, and it's fantastic that Simon backs it up, because it means that we're on the same page. But I was told that Lacazette won't go. He won't go nowhere. He's just going to sit there and sit there, and it just And I wouldn't mind if he was doing it on the pitch. By all means, sit there. but he's not doing it on the pitch. He's he don't look like it to me. He's doing it.
It's too inconsistent, isn't it?
Yeah, very languished. Looks like he's like that too much. And Arteta's seen it, and hence why the Dybala thing seems to be come out like.
Yeah, a lot of people have said though, you're not playing. Arsenal won't pay the wages for Dybala. Have you seen how much Dybala's on at Juventus? It's nothing. Literally, Arsenal have got no issue with personal, with anything like that. Wages, signing on fee, agent fees, got no problem with that. The players that we've got rid off the wage bill and are still getting off the wage bill in this transfer window, I would not rule it out. But we can tell you it's 100% real.
180 grand off the wage bill would be fantastic, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's not fabrication, people. There's truth in it. I think they had talks this last week, and they're going back over for talks.
It's between him and Ronaldo, but you're not getting rid of Ronaldo.
Sorry, a bit of context to it. They've got to get rid of Pablo Dybala or Ronaldo. They've offered Ronaldo to Barcelona, PSG, Real Madrid. They don't want him back. It's because he's too high wages. So essentially, Juventus have to keep him because there's no one else to take him, and it means getting rid of Dybala. And they said they cannot keep both of them on the books. So one of them's going this season. It might turn around if they get rid of other people off the books, such as Aaron Ramsey, some of the other people that are on there. Douglas Costa's another one they're trying to get rid of. But at the moment, Dybala or Ronaldo are out. Villarreal have completed the signing of Francis Coquelin for 8 million plus 3 million add-ons. Villarreal want Guendouzi. Simon, Villarreal want Guendouzi, and they are willing to offer money for him. Talk to me.
The same person that told me about Laka and Dybala is the same person that's told me this, and I can back this up as well, that Unai Emery has made it his number one priority at Villarreal to get Guendouzi. They can't pay for Guendouzi outright, like basically money this summer, so it looks like it's a loan with an obligation to buy. And Guendouzi is happy to go there. He's got his options because there's PSG looking at him. Obviously, Juventus were looking at him. Real Madrid were looking at him. But they've recalled Dani Ceballos back. So that looks like that one's out of the water for Guendouzi. So, and he liked playing under Unai Emery because he constantly played him all the time. He's a young kid. He's a young kid.
Yeah, Unai Emery is a big fan of him. Loan with obligation to buy. I mean, as long as there's an obligation,
get gone.
He's off the book. You might not be getting 40 million there and then, but it's 40 million you can spend because you know you're getting it. So
we might look back at it in the next 10 years, and Guendouzi could be hitting numbers or hitting close numbers like Paul Pogba, that sort of stuff in midfield. But Arsenal do not need that player now.
It doesn't. It's not about. It's not. It doesn't matter. It could be hitting Messi numbers. Your attitude stinks.
It says that's why Arteta don't want him.
Absolutely reeks, and you can't have someone in the team that's going fully against the grain when everyone's going in one direction, because that's when you start getting it starts fragmenting all over the place, and it starts to fall apart. You can't have that. They didn't like it before. Stuff's coming out. The team did not like the way that Guendouzi was being allowed to get away with stuff. They didn't like it.
That's it. We won the FA Cup, and where was he?
Okay.
Holiday.
Yeah. Okay, it may have been like, it's just Guendouzi. It's this. After a while, that starts to wear thin when he starts to get away with everything, and it's no wonder stuff started to fall apart. It's no wonder. It's no wonder. Napoli have lined up Lyon centre-back Jason Denier as an alternative to Gabriel Magalhaes. Okay, we're going to speak about Gabriel Magalhaes right now. All right, people. Let's get the on. All right.
I might even take my glasses off.
Take your glasses off because it's about to get warm in here. They're probably going to steam up, mate. You know what I mean?
We've been on this from day one.
We've been on this since day one. So we gave you the news that Gabriel Magalhaes had meetings with Arsenal. Those meetings went really well. We was told, and we trust We trust, because do you know why? Because it came from two separate people, and the same story came from two people.
Matched.
I love that. I love that. It's like, yeah, that, yeah. And it had a meeting, and it went really, really well. They'd thrashed out personal terms there and then with the player, yeah, there and then. On that same day, they'd spoken to Lille over the phone and discussed a deal. So when people say we jumped the gun, we didn't. We discussed the deal. So that in principle, a deal was spoken to with Lille and Arsenal. Okay, we move on throughout the week. We gave you news that Man United had a meeting with Gabriel Magalhaes as well. That was then confirmed the day later by who else other than Fabrizio Romero, the Don. Well, soon to be us as the Don, but right now, Fabrizio's the Don, isn't he? And then, following that, Simon informed me that Man United were out of it. So from that day, we were told Man United are out. We try and clarify that with France. France are telling us different, but again, we come in with the news early, so we're ahead of the curve, even on them. Yeah. The next one, it goes quiet. Then we hear that Napoli are involved. The deal, from what we were told, would have been done last week because the player was happy to join Arsenal last week, but after agreeing a transfer fee with Arsenal and the structure, I stand by the time when we was told that it came out. That fee and structure has been there since then. It's not changed. Arsenal have not upped the fee. They haven't. These are fabrications. These are stories that people want to add on to then change the narrative to their story. That's not how it went. Arsenal's deal has not changed since then. Yeah, the player is still happy since then. What Lille then done is hold the door open to any other teams that were still interested, that wanted to put in a bid for the player. Yeah, Napoli came along and they had a gentleman's agreement that once you sell Koulibaly, you will then buy Gabriel for this price. So that's Napoli's bid, gentleman's agreement, Arsenal's bid, an agreement. So both clubs have got an agreement. It is then left the player to decide who he wants to go to. Gabriel Magalhaes agreed terms with Napoli in March. He agreed terms with Arsenal last week. That's where we're at. Yeah, we've been informed that Gabriel Magalhaes has chosen Arsenal. That's been no change from last week, and there's no reason why it should do, because from what we know, Napoli were always in it. That's where we stand with that deal. He will announce who he's going to in the next couple of days. Again, this is our stance has not changed. Where we were, where it was put on the site, what's been retweeted. It's not changed. It's still exactly the same. We're not changing, going and toing and throwing. Napoli coming in with a bid is it's what happens in transfers. And people, if you want updates, as much as we get the updates, yeah, you got to understand that things can potentially change. It don't mean you're flip flopping. It don't mean you're guessworking. It means you're doing your actual work. It means you're doing your due diligence. You're checking out things. Yeah? So that's what we're doing. And that's where we are with Gabriel Magalhaes. I'm confident. I know Simon's confident.
I'm very confident.
That he will be an Arsenal player.
I've got it on good authority, I've been told.
I heard the word from the bird in the top right over here. My top right. Or top left, if I'm turning that way. Steve said the same thing. It's looking good. He's edging towards Arsenal. So there's no reason why I wouldn't believe that. So that's
it. And when United fans were saying and laughing and going, oh yeah, because they thought that Gabriel was going to pick Arsenal over Man United. Well, reality check, he has.
Yeah. So
you offered more wages and you offered a bigger fee. He looked into it. You had an interview with him and the agent and Lille. Lille wanted to agree with Manchester United, but it's down to the player. You cannot just force a player to go there. It's his decision. So he's listened to Man United. He was close to signing for Everton. He had really close, but then COVID kicked in. So then he's got an agreement with Arsenal and Napoli, like we've said. He's chosen Arsenal, and that's not us being big-headed because we're all Arsenal fans. We're just giving you the news. I'm happy that he's chose us. I'm ecstatic. I'm shocked, and I'm ecstatic because I really thought if Man United were in there, you look at their team, you look them in the Champions League, they stick him next to Harry Maguire. I thought he would go in there, but now he's turned around and said he doesn't want to go to Man United. So any United fan that comes at me and says you're talking nonsense, just wait till he chooses, and he'll tell you in an interview.
But as we were saying as well, the fact that we said that Man United were out of it, and we were told that they weren't in France, it shows how far ahead we were on that.
They were out of it.
Because they were out of it, and you've heard nothing since that Man United were even in it. And we were told last Friday that Man United were out, and as soon as they'd spoken to Gabriel Magalhães' representatives again for the second time, and he made it clear that he wanted to go to Arsenal over them, then they pulled out. And that's why you started to hear alternatives that Man United are after, and we're going to speak to them about you in a bit. Arsenal are not happy at Real Madrid that they want midfielder Dani Ceballos to go back and train with them before listening to any offers for the player. I remember who gave me that. I think Steve. I think you told me that, didn't you? Yeah, so they're not happy. Arsenal aren't happy. What is it?
It is as simple as that. They wanted Dani Ceballos to stay. They want to buy him. They want to keep him. Mm-hmm. He's the first choice over Philip Coutinho. Mm-hmm. If he was to stay, but now it's Real Madrid are playing silly games that they wanted him to go back. They want him to train. They've put the fee up to 45 million. They don't want it paid in instalments. And Arsenal are not happy one little bit. The way they're dealing with things, but there's Real Madrid and Barcelona, because they're in trouble lately with their fees and their players. They seem to be acting this way.
Yeah, but, it strikes me as bring him back, tell the clubs that you actually want to keep him, and then that adds a little bit more money to the transfer fee.
I mean, taking him. I mean, the fact that they've actually told him he's got to come back and train with them is poor, very, very poor. There's no need for that. No need
there's not, especially when you're meant to be either extending the loan for another season with an obligation to buy, or you're buying the player.
And he didn't want to go back. I was been told Dani Ceballos did not want to go back.
No, massive U-turn from him because he didn't actually want to sign a contract extension towards the end of the season.
He's settled now,
isn't he? It's Arteta. It's Arteta.
It's got the magic touch. Jan Vertonghen has completed his move to Benfica on a free transfer. He turned down Roma, and I'm not sure what was happening with Man City. I'm guessing the deal wasn't really pushed through. Leeds are considering a move for Everton's Theo Walcott. Juventus have made Napoli star Milik their number one target for replacing Higuain. That should be coming out in the next few days if it's not already. They've already agreed personal terms with him. Roma are in talks over a swap deal with Lucas Torreira and Amadou Diawara. Who was going with that? Was that just general news? I think that was just
general.
Brighton are in talks with Reims over the purchase of the pursuit of striker Bouyele Dia. I think he scored about 6 goals in 28 games. That's not good reading. That's not good reading at all. Inter's former president, Massimo Moratti, was asked if Inter Milan could afford Messi. His response was, "How do you say in Chinese, never say never?" What a response. What a response. Classic. While we're on the subject of Lionel Messi, Man City, I don't know whether you've seen it on the BBC, they feel like they're in pole position to sign Lionel Messi. I was informed earlier that day, Simon, we'll give you a little bit more onto that in a sec, that Man City had talks with Lionel Messi's representatives. And then the BBC come out a few hours later saying that they feel like they're in pole position. So, Simon, give me a little update.
And now it's all come out as well that Messi has told Barca that he wants to leave.
He's
So-
actually saying he wants to leave now.
Yeah, he's saying he wants to leave now, which you can't blame him. If he comes to the Premier League, it is going to be City, isn't it, really? It is going to be City.
There's
United
no
can
other
throw
team.
their name.
Yeah.
United
no
can
other
throw
team.
their name in.
Yeah, there's
They're
no.
not, no. But Pep Guardiola is, what I've been told, is very confident on getting Messi to Manchester City. I don't know about fees or anything like that because he could just go for free.
Yeah.
He could actually go for free, and then City would pay him ridiculous wages for. How old is he?
It's like
35,
33, isn't he?
right?
Is he 33?
Yeah, it's mental, isn't it? But it's like Ronaldo with Juventus. If he goes to City, shirt sales, unbelievable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I might even buy a Man City shirt if he goes to the Premier League, mate. Like,
I'm not going that far.
he's different. Like,
They don't deserve him, though. They don't deserve him.
different
No.
class. Okay, I'll come to the Hosami Your update in a second, Si. Man City are set to make a shock £40 million move for Tottenham midfielder Harry Winks. It may be a shock move. Well, they're not going to go for him this window, but Steve has informed me, boom, that he potentially could go with another.
Look, first of all, I'd like to say, why do you want Messi when you can have Harry Winks? Right, this definitely ain't happening this window. Tried and trusted person I talked to, he said, but Pep is a massive fan of Harry Winks. On the other side of it, Josie can't stand him. He's not the type of player that Josie likes in the middle of the park. He's come out and said he's too slight, too weak. Again, literally come out and said it like Jose does. You can see why Pep likes him. Very David Silverish, very Bernardo Silverish, very Gundogan, all playing around that area. So you can see that. I've been told this transfer is not dead, and that there's a good chance that this is going to happen in January. So keep your eye on that one. The only thing is the City owners think 40 million's too much, and so there might be a bit of back and forth between City and Spurs regarding the fee when it gets to January. But yeah, Winks at City. Yeah,
I mean, I can't see why it wouldn't work, but yeah, I mean, I was surprised by it. But if he fits the mold, that's what it is. He certainly doesn't fit the mold under Jose Mourinho.
No.
Leeds have signed Cody Draha from Fulham for 400k. Emi Martinez has told Arsenal that he wants to be first choice, otherwise he will be open to listen to other offers. I know Mark put it down as a ultimatum, but there's no way that Emi Martinez is not the kind of person that slams down ultimatums in a meeting with the Arsenal hierarchy. It never went like that. He probably turned around and said, "Look, I need to have reassurances that I have got an opportunity to be a first team keeper. I've been 10 years as a backup keeper. I've had my opportunity to be a first team keeper. I've taken that with both hands. Yeah, no drops, no clangers." And there's talk that Leno's going to go straight back in. I mean, for me, that can't happen. You need to keep that level of competition. And if you take that away, I mean, you're only going to have to go out and buy someone in who's going to challenge Leno. And then you don't know how good he is.
That's it. I would pick Leno over Martinez because that's just me. But for the first game of the season, against Liverpool in the Community Shield, it's Martinez for me in goal. And it also is on the opening day until Leno shows that he should be back there.
The thing is, when Leno came in and Czech was in
Sevilla
goal.
2-1, by the way.
Oh, is it? When Leno came in and Czech was in goal, Czech had his spot until he got injured, then Leno came in and kept his spot. that's. There's no reason why that same scenario can't happen.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean that's why you hear that saying all the time, didn't you? If you get your chance and you take it,
you keep it.
You keep it.
Earn your shirt, and earn the right to wear it.
And he's done that.
Jose Mayor, we put out last week that Mikel Arteta had a meeting. In that meeting, Jose Mayor was high on the priority of his transfer list or transfer targets. Skeptical, I can understand. It could sound like we're just making up that meetings are happening and they're going after certain players. But then again, 2 days after that came out, L'Equipe turned around and said that Arsenal, Juventus and Man City were after Jose Mayor. Since then, it started to pick up a little bit more with the Jose Mayor rumours. And potentially they won't go away, especially with Juventus maybe looking elsewhere and Man City looking at Harry Winks. It seems to be that there is an option for Jose Mayor at Arsenal, but I'm sure it would depend a lot on whether Dani Ceballos is going to be staying. There's going to be a lot of twos and fro's and whats and ifs and buts, but is a target for Arsenal. Man United are close to signing Monaco's Benoit Badeshi.
That's the alternative.
That's the alternative. Steve, I think you looked into it, and then we're going to get a little bit of what kind of a player he is from Jerome. So, Steve, did you look into it?
Yeah, I did look into it, and just like Simon said, he is that player who is the alternative to Gabriel Magalhaes. So I won't go into it. I won't go into any more because Jerome's wasn't to take it all. but he's a left-sided centre back. He can play the ball out from the back. Very good player, and I think he's an excellent player. But I'll leave the rest to Jerome.
Oh no! Go on, Steve. Go on, Steve. You got it. Take it away. Take it away, Steve. Go on. You got this. Go on, tell what he's about. Go on, Steve.
No, I really like this player. Apart from that, I can't pronounce his surname. I mean, he's absolutely excellent. As I say, he's a left-sided centre back. He can play the ball out from the back. Very modern day. He don't mess about in the tackle either. I was watching a few clips in, and boy, you don't want to go into a tackle with this player. A great centre back in the making. He's been linked quite a bit to RB Leipzig as well, as a possible replacement for Upamecano. And I can see that. I can see a bit of the resemblance. He's only 19, comes from Monaco. He was recommended to Man United by Patrice Evra to Solskjaer, and so after pulling out the Magalhaes transfer, this is the man they want. But the only thing with it's sad really, because like many of the Monaco players, they get good players and they just can't keep them, can they?
Yeah.
They seem to sell them off all the time. And
it's almost they get bored over there. It's they go over there for the money, and it's not the same.
And
There's
this is another.
People go to watch the games.
Yeah, this is another one. He's if Man United get him, it'll be a top player.
Top player. All right, Thomas Partey. I get a lot of questions about Thomas Partey. Where are we at? As we said previously, Arsenal would go in for Thomas Partey after the Champions League. We got news that literally on the day, as soon as that exit was happening, that they got in contact with Thomas Partey. Since then, we actually spoke to our guy Samuel in Ghana, and he said that Arsenal have opened talks with Thomas Partey's representatives again. Obviously, just to touch base and then go over personal terms and stuff like that before they sort something out with Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid have made it very clear that they want the the release clause, and Arsenal will pay the release clause. Whether they're going to be getting rid of players first, I don't know. But Arsenal will. Well, we've been told that Arsenal will pay the release clause. That remains to be seen. But it is all up to Arsenal. It is fully up to Arsenal. Thomas Partey wants to come to Arsenal. We've made that clear before. We're going to set up something during the week with Sam. We'll just have a little, just to touch base with people in Ghana. And we'll give you updates throughout. Anything on Thomas Partey, we are the place to be, because we've got our people in Ghana. So and that's where he is at the moment. So anyone that's telling you that he's going to be having a dramatic U-turn in Spain, it's not going to happen. He's sitting on. I've asked the question: was he happy? I'm sure he wasn't happy about sitting on the bench. They didn't ask that question, but they just said. I'm sure you can tell he wasn't happy that he was sitting on the bench in the Champions League.
No comment.
So basically, so that was it. That was it. Thomas Partey. I don't think you'll be seeing Thomas Partey play for Atletico Madrid again. And Arsenal looks like it should be the final destination for him. Steve Bruce wants Chris Smalling as well as Tyrone Mings to strengthen up his defence. You've got 35 million, Steve. I don't know. This ain't 1982 and 35 million could buy 4 squads, mate. But Tyrone Mings and Chris Smalling, how much are you hoping to get for them? Tuppence each? No, no, mate. You're not 35 million. That includes wages. Not happening. Matty Smith will spend next season on loan at Swindon. Steve, we've got a Leon Bailey update.
Yeah. Jonas Bolt, sporting director of wherever he plays, Leverkusen. It went Leverkusen. Bolt has turned around and said Leon Bailey has been quoted. He will definitely be leaving this summer. Angelotti's been on the phone again, I assume. Gotta love that. He's Everton's first choice signing for this summer. I've been told by people from a friend from the Liverpool Echo, and they're looking at. But they've done it again. They've put in a bid of 20 million. They want 35, and they've put in a bid at 20. And again, it was like I said earlier. I don't know what these clubs are doing, but why are they putting this ridiculous offers in? But Everton, another team that they need to sell before they buy. I mean, that's pretty. That's old news. I was told Oldberg was very interested in going to Everton, but the overall package wasn't very good enough for the player and the club. A bid from Spurs went in for Bailey. I got to laugh. A bid from Spurs went in for Bailey for 10 million. I mean, come on. 10 million. Plus instalments.
It is bad, though. We're laughing about it, but...
Sorry, mate.
It is bad.
To 18 million.
COVID-19, everyone's struggling for money. They're trying to get back, and you've got big clubs that don't have to really worry about money as much, and they're just going, well, we'll give you that, and we'll give you that, and make do with that.
That doesn't sound like it's this is all we've got. It sounds like let's see how little we can get for him.
Is it because the sporting director said yes, he's leaving, he can go? And does that start something off?
They're probably hoping, with the competition they've got for the player, that he's going to choose them over, which always drags down the price. It's what they had with Højbjerg. What Everton probably need to be careful of is right now potentially players who would have been going to you or are going to you or maybe going to you, you've had talks with, maybe just delaying it to see what other clubs are interested in them. I see someone's asking about the Allen deal. As I said previously, with the Allen deal, Everton have agreed a fee from what I know. Alan has agreed personal terms with Everton. But that doesn't stop Napoli holding out and opening that door, like what Lille done, and saying, does anyone else want Alan? Is anyone else interested to try and get the price up? And I mean, if Alan only wants to join you, then that's fine.
Atletico Madrid are in for Alan. Atletico Madrid.
And if that's going to be a replacement for Thomas Partey,
there you go.
That's the worry.
Apparently they're favourites for Alan. Atletico Madrid.
So
that's what I'm saying. We could pay the release clause. There you go. There's your money. Go and get Alan. Sorry, Everton, you missed out again.
And that's the thing. Everton have been thrown over massively by COVID. They were meant to get Everton stores. They were meant to get Alan. They were meant to get Magahalis. I feel like it's a sorry state of affairs what the position that Everton have been put in, because they would have also got them for really good prices as well. In the end, the Gabriel bid was rejected, 18 million, so 22 million euros, which was what you was going to get from him in the first place. And it was rejected in the end because Arsenal came in, Napoli came in and offered more money, and Man United were willing to offer more money. That deal was never going to was never going to happen. So yeah, I mean, it's just, as I said previously, Everton are going for the right people. If they then go down the next batch for the next batch of people, they're still going for the right people. It's still an upgrade on what you've got, and it will still push Everton up in the league. You've got the right manager, and I fully expect Everton to be busy this summer. Over the next couple of weeks, it's going to be hectic. Look, do not worry about if your teams are not doing business right now. As soon as it starts to get back, when people are going to be getting back into pre-season training, the clubs will start pushing for them buys. Then clubs,
they will be. Yeah, they're all off holiday then.
You've got no choice. The season starts soon, so the clubs are going to be doing bits. Trust me. And finally, David O'Leary will be joining the Arsenal board. That is happening. We do not know which role, but yeah, David O'Leary will be joining the Arsenal board as a recommendation of Mikel Arteta. And it's been given the green light from Edu Gaspar.
And it's a personal request as well from Mikel Arteta and KSE of obviously what's going to happen this summer. They're fully behind Arteta. They're fully behind him. There was Mark Overmars that they were thought that he were going to come in as like Ralstonelli's replacement. He's happy in Ajax. It could happen in the future, but at the minute, he's signed with Ajax, a new deal. He's happy. That's it.
All right, and it's done. Transfer roundup's done.
So is Man United's Europa League.
Everyone in the comment section. Thank you, everyone who joined us tonight, and thank you everyone who joined just for the transfer roundup. I don't mind. It's all good. I really don't mind. You can join us at any point you want in this. Just go and watch it, give us a like, a share, and subscribe, obviously. Next week, we will be doing this show on Twitter. We will, a one-off in Twitter. So, yeah, we're going to be doing it on Twitter, and then we're going to try and draw people back to this place, to the hotspot, to the YouTube, so we can get more subscribers, so we can carry on doing this. You don't want us to disappear, people, do you? I'm waiting for the first comment. I'm going to pretend you're saying no. I'm going to pretend you're typing right now. You don't want us to go anywhere. Thank you to people in the comments section. James, Sophie, Goodwin. I see you shining, Goodwin. Mihai, Glenn Cook. Mihai, you're there again. Mihai comes out with the best comments in the videos. Mihai and Steve, I swear, they write us essays. They are absolute G's. Melvin, of course, Melvin Marks, the big man. I'd like to thank the panel tonight. I call it the panel. They're my scouts, my boys. I'd like to thank the panel. Top right, I've got Steve K. Thank you very much, Steve.
Yep. Thanks, Kieran. Thanks, everybody, for joining us tonight. Good luck, Burnley and Leicester fans.
I hope you enjoyed it, Leicester and Burnley fans. Jerome Marks, bottom left, thank you very much. He is our new head of player analysis. And I know he did. You know, Jerome's doing a good job when all of us are sitting there like that. Keep talking, Jerome.
Nice one. Thanks, boys. Thanks, everyone. Cheers. Cheers.
That's right. And then bottom left, we have the chef. He's on fire at the moment. Well done, chef. Thank you very much tonight.
Cheers, everyone. Like, subscribe.
Very much love the enthusiasm there. Like, subscribe. All right, people. Thank you very much for joining us. As I said, next week we will be on Twitter. Any questions you've got, feel free to ask. Go and follow our Instagram page. Go and follow our Twitter, and ask your questions in the comment section, and we'll try and answer them as soon as we can. Peace out. Stay